Toxic people. You know the type. Masters of chaos, Olympic-level guilt trippers, and drama connoisseurs. They show up uninvited, draining your energy faster than a dying phone battery. The worst part? They seem to thrive on your frustration, turning every encounter into their personal stage for dysfunction. So what do? Do you engage in their circus, starring as their emotional punching bag? Do you fight fire with fire, knowing it will only burn you in the end? Or do you rise above, cool as a Stoic sage, untouchable in your calm mastery of the situation? Here's the thing. Dealing with toxic people isn't about outsmarting or outshouting them. It's about playing an entirely different game, a game where you hold the cards. Today, we'll unlock 11 clever ways to deal with toxic people using the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. These strategies aren't about manipulation. They're about protecting your peace, mastering your emotions, and, let's be honest, leaving them utterly confused when their tricks no longer work on you. But first, let's talk about your action. So here's your mission. Hit that like button for this video. Why? Because when you take action, YouTube sees this content as valuable and spreads it to more people who, just like you, are searching for guidance. And here's the truth. When you help others, the universe helps you in return. But let's be honest for a moment. If you can't take a simple action like clicking the like button, perhaps this video isn't the right fit for you. Why? Because without action, there's no transformation. No action, no change. So step up. Hit like, subscribe, and share this video. Help others, and watch how things begin to shift in your favor. Are you ready, my friend? Let's unlock the power that's been waiting for you all along. Toxic people won't know what hit them. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Set clear boundaries. Let's get one thing straight. Toxic people hate boundaries. To them, boundaries are like garlic to a vampire. They sizzle, recoil, and do everything they can to push through them. Why? Because boundaries remind them that the world doesn't revolve around their chaos. And trust me, they can't stand that reality. Here's the problem. If you don't set boundaries, you're basically handing toxic people a free pass to waltz all over your life. They'll barge into your space, drain your energy, and leave you wondering why you're perpetually exhausted. But when you establish clear, firm boundaries, you're sending a message. This is my space, and you don't get to pollute it with your nonsense. Now, let's talk about execution, because setting boundaries isn't just about saying no. It's about saying no with style. Forget the long explanations, justifications, or apologies. Toxic people thrive on loopholes, and every excuse you offer is just another door for them to barge through. Instead, channel your inner Stoic and deliver your boundaries with calm authority. For example, toxic coworker trying to dump their workload on you. Say, I won't be able to take that on. You'll need to figure out another solution. Family member stirring up drama at dinner? Try, I'm not comfortable with this conversation. Let's talk about something else. Notice what's missing. Apologies, excuses, and permission. You don't need any of them. A boundary isn't a debate. It's a statement. Now, brace yourself for the fallout. Toxic people will test your boundaries, like toddlers testing bedtime rules. They'll guilt trip, manipulate, or flat out ignore you. Don't flinch. Remember Marcus Aurelius' wisdom. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Here's the kicker. Setting boundaries doesn't just protect your energy, it commands respect. Even toxic people, deep down, grudgingly respect someone who stands firm. And those who don't, well, they'll likely slither off to find an easier target. Good riddance. Actionable tip. Practice delivering your boundaries calmly and without emotion. Visualize yourself as a fortress, immovable, unshaken, and utterly uninterested in their drama. Because at the end of the day, the only person who can truly protect your peace is you. Number 2. Use the gray rock method. Toxic people live for drama. They feast on emotional reactions like it's their personal buffet, savoring every ounce of frustration, anger, or hurt they can wring out of you. Without it, they're like a moth without a flame, completely lost, desperately flapping around for the nearest source of excitement. And this, my friend, is where the gray rock method becomes your secret weapon. Here's the strategy. When a toxic person tries to spark chaos, you become as dull and unremarkable as a gray rock. Bland, boring, unresponsive. Picture a toddler throwing a tantrum in a grocery store. What happens when the parent doesn't react? The kid eventually realizes no one's watching their Oscar-worthy performance and gives up. Toxic people are no different. They thrive on attention, but when you stop giving it, they're left flailing in their own storm. Let's bring this to life. Imagine a colleague starts pushing your buttons, fishing for an argument about that project deadline. Instead of firing back, simply say, "Noted." That's it. No explanations. No counterarguments. Just a calm, lifeless response. They'll either implode from lack of drama or walk away, muttering about how boring you become. Either way, you win. The beauty of this method lies in its simplicity. Toxic people rely on your emotions to fuel their antics. By refusing to react, you strip them of their power. They'll grow frustrated, confused, and eventually disinterested. They might even seek out a new target, someone who hasn't yet mastered the art of indifference. But here's the Stoic twist. Maintaining the gray rock approach requires self-discipline. It's not easy to stay neutral when someone's poking at your patience, like it's a sleeping bear. This is where Marcus Aurelius' wisdom shines. The best revenge is to not be like your enemy. Don't stoop to their level. Stay calm. Stay composed. Be the rock. Actionable tip: practice neutral, one-word responses. Okay. Sure. Noted. When a toxic person starts their antics, think of yourself as a gray rock, unremarkable, immovable, and completely unbothered. It's not just about ignoring them. It's about becoming someone they can't engage with. And that, my friend, is how you steal their thunder and reclaim your peace. Number 3. Apply the broken record technique. Let's face it, toxic people are relentless. They'll push, prod, and pressure you like a telemarketer who just won't take no for an answer. They're masters of persistence, wearing you down until you cave in out of sheer exhaustion. But what if you had a way to flip the script, to outlast their tactics without breaking a sweat? Enter the broken record technique, the ultimate strategy for shutting down their manipulative demands. Here's how it works. When a toxic person keeps pressuring you to do something you don't want to do, you respond by calmly repeating your refusal, again and again and again, without offering explanations or getting drawn into their arguments. It's like playing a scratched vinyl record on repeat, the same phrase, over and over, until they finally give up. Picture this. A toxic coworker keeps badgering you to cover their shift, again. Normally, you might feel compelled to explain why you can't, offer alternatives, or soften the blow with a polite excuse. Not this time. Instead, you simply say, "I'm not able to do that." They push back. "Why not? You're not even busy that day." Your response: "I'm not able to do that." They whine, guilt trip, and throw every excuse in the book at you, but your answer doesn't budge. By the 5th repetition, they'll be more frustrated with their lack of progress than you ever could be. Now, let's address the inevitable mental tug-of-war. Toxic people are experts at triggering your guilt reflex. They'll try to make you feel like the villain for standing your ground. This is where Stoicism comes into play. Epictetus reminds us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them your time, energy, or emotional labor. What you do owe is loyalty to your boundaries, and that's exactly what the broken record technique reinforces. The best part? This technique sends a subtle, powerful message. You're no longer an easy target. They'll realize that their manipulative tactics bounce off you like rubber bullets. Toxic people hate resistance, and when they can't wear you down, they'll eventually move on to someone else who hasn't yet discovered this secret weapon. Actionable tip: the next time someone tries to guilt or pressure you, pick a firm, clear statement. "That doesn't work for me," or "I'm not able to do that," and stick to it. Repeat it as many times as necessary, without wavering or justifying yourself. The more you stay consistent, the faster they'll run out of steam. Because when it comes to your peace of mind, saying no is not just an option, it's a superpower. Number 4. Limit contact with toxic people. Sometimes, the best way to deal with toxic people is simply not to. Limiting contact isn't about giving up or avoiding conflict. It's about protecting your energy, your peace, and your well-being. Because let's be honest, not every battle is worth fighting, and not every person deserves a front row seat in your life. Think about it this way: your time and emotional energy are like a bank account. Toxic people? They're the ones overdrawing your balance, leaving you depleted, frustrated, and stressed. Limiting contact is how you take control of your emotional spending. You're choosing where your energy goes, and toxic people don't make the cut. This doesn't mean you need to make some grand announcement, like, "I'm cutting you out of my life." In fact, subtlety often works best. You can quietly create distance by responding less often, keeping interactions brief, and choosing when and where you engage. For example, if a toxic friend constantly unloads their drama on you, limit how often you answer their calls. When you do, keep the conversation focused and brief. If a toxic coworker thrives on stirring up gossip, steer clear of their break-room conversations and redirect when they try to pull you in. And if it's a family member, someone you can't completely cut ties with, set boundaries for how often you interact and what topics are off limits. This approach isn't about punishment or revenge. It's about self-preservation. Marcus Aurelius said it best: "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. By limiting contact, you're taking control of the one thing toxic people can't touch: your inner peace. Here's the beauty of this method: the less energy you invest in toxic relationships, the more energy you free up for the people who truly matter, the ones who uplift, support, and respect you. Your life becomes lighter, clearer, and more joyful when you prioritize those who align with your values and well-being. Actionable tip: take a moment to assess your relationships. Are there people who leave you feeling drained or unsettled? Identify small ways to limit contact: less time spent together, fewer responses, or simply saying, "I need some space right now." It's not selfish, it's self-care. Because when you protect your peace, you're making room for the happiness and connection you truly deserve. Number 5. Limit contact with toxic people. Toxic people thrive on access. The more they have to you, the more they can drain your energy and disrupt your peace. Reducing their access isn't just a smart strategy. It's essential for protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Picture this: your time and energy are a luxury item, not a free-for-all. Toxic individuals don't deserve unlimited access to your thoughts, emotions, or presence. Limiting contact isn't about confrontation or cutting ties completely. It's about setting priorities. You're choosing to redirect your focus to what truly matters, and letting the noise fade into the background. Here's how it works. Minimize interaction. If it's a coworker, stick to professional topics and avoid unnecessary small talk. If it's a friend who constantly brings drama, gradually reduce the time spent together by being less available. Create boundaries. For family members, Schedule specific times to connect, but don't feel obligated to engage in every call or visit. Politely steer conversations away from toxic subjects or end interactions when they become unproductive. Use technology wisely. Distance yourself by limiting how often you respond to texts, emails, or social media messages. Not every interaction requires an immediate reply. Some don't require a reply at all. This isn't about burning bridges. It's about building a stronger foundation for your peace of mind. As the Stoics teach us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. When you focus on cultivating a positive, balanced life, you naturally make less room for toxic influences. Actionable tip: evaluate the relationships in your life. Who leaves you feeling drained? Who adds value and joy? Start by limiting unnecessary interactions with those who drain you. It doesn't require a formal announcement. Small, deliberate changes will make a world of difference. Protect your time and energy like the treasures they are, because they are finite, and they're yours to control. By limiting contact, you're sending a powerful message. Your peace is sacred, and no one has the right to disrupt it without your permission. Toxic people may not like it, but that's their problem, not yours. Number 6. Focus on your circle of influence. Here's a truth that toxic people don't want you to realize. Their power over you shrinks the moment you shift your energy toward relationships that uplift you. When you surround yourself with positive, supportive people, you create a force field of encouragement, care, and strength that makes toxic influences seem insignificant by comparison. Think of your social life like a garden. Toxic people are weeds, taking up space, choking out the flowers, and thriving on neglect. But your supportive friends and family? They're the blooms, the ones that thrive when you nurture them. The secret to reclaiming your peace isn't battling the weeds. It's cultivating the flowers until they completely take over the garden. Let's put this into practice. Picture your best friend, the one who always knows how to make you laugh, even on your worst days. When was the last time you made time for them? Or consider that colleague who inspires you with their positivity and work ethic. Have you taken a moment to connect with them? Now compare that to the energy spent dwelling on toxic people. See the imbalance? Why it works. When you invest in uplifting relationships, you're actively redirecting your time and energy toward connections that matter. Toxic people lose their grip on you because they're no longer your focus. It's like shining a flashlight in the dark. The light doesn't fight the darkness. It simply replaces it. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus taught, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. By focusing on your circle of influence, you strengthen your resilience and protect your peace. Practical ways to strengthen your circle. Reconnect with your people. Call the friend you haven't spoken to in months. Plan a coffee date with someone who inspires you. These little gestures reinforce the connections that truly matter. Celebrate positivity. Make a habit of appreciating the people who bring joy to your life. Send a quick text, give a compliment, or simply let them know you value their presence. Expand your circle. Join a new group or community centered around your passions. Whether it's a book club, fitness class, or volunteer organization, surrounding yourself with like-minded people is a powerful way to fill your life with positivity. Actionable tip. For the next week, commit to one act that strengthens a positive relationship in your life. It could be reaching out to an old friend, spending extra time with family, or even writing a thank you note to someone who's made a difference. Notice how your energy shifts as you redirect your focus toward uplifting connections. Here's the thing. Toxic people can't thrive in a world where your energy is occupied by love, laughter, and support. By focusing on your circle of influence, you're not just avoiding negativity, you're building a life so full of light that there's no room for darkness. Number 7. Practice strategic absence. There's a beauty in simply not being there. Toxic people thrive on constant access to you. They need an audience to fuel their negativity and a target for their provocations. But what happens when that access is gone? When you become elusive, distant, and, most importantly, unbothered. Picture this. Your toxic coworker has made it their mission to involve you in their daily dose of workplace drama. Every lunch break, they corner you with stories about who's doing what wrong, expecting you to nod along or join the gossip. One day, instead of heading to the lunchroom, you slip out to a park bench or grab a table at a quiet cafe. No explanation. No apology. You're simply not there. They look for you, but you're nowhere to be found. Suddenly, their routine is disrupted, and they're left to stew in their own drama. Or imagine the family member who constantly calls to unload their problems, expecting you to act as their unpaid therapist. You've always picked up, even when it inconveniences you, until now. This time, you let the call go to voicemail. Maybe you reply hours later with a brief, polite text. "I'm busy right now. Hope all is well." Slowly, the calls become less frequent as they realize you're no longer their emotional dumping ground. Why strategic absence works. Toxic people expect immediate access to your energy. When you remove yourself, whether physically or emotionally, it disrupts their control and forces them to adjust. More importantly, it gives you the space to recharge and refocus on the things that truly matter. Stoicism teaches us to protect our time and energy like the precious resources they are. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave wife right now." Let that determine what you do and say and think. Every moment wasted on toxic people is a moment stolen from your peace, growth, and joy. How to apply strategic absence in daily life. Social situations. Skip unnecessary gatherings where you know toxic individuals will dominate the atmosphere. Instead, prioritize time with people who uplift and inspire you. Digital space. Limit your availability. Don't feel obligated to respond immediately to every text or email. Toxic people often abuse digital access. Put boundaries in place. Workplace drama. Politely excuse yourself from conversations that feel draining. A simple, "I have something to finish. Catch you later," works wonders. Actionable tip, start small. Identify one interaction or environment where you can practice strategic absence this week. Maybe it's skipping a call, taking a different route to avoid a confrontation, or carving out solo time to recharge. Notice how much lighter and more in control you feel when you reclaim your space. Here's the truth. You don't owe toxic people constant access to your life. Absence is not weakness, it's strength. It's a way to assert control without conflict, to preserve your energy without explanation, and to remind the world, and yourself, that your time is sacred. Because when you master the art of strategic absence, you're not just stepping away, you're stepping into a life of greater peace and purpose. Number 8. Focus on your circle of influence. Here's a truth that toxic people don't want you to realize. Their power over you shrinks the moment you shift your energy toward relationships that uplift you. When you surround yourself with positive, supportive people, you create a force field of encouragement, care, and strength that makes toxic influences seem insignificant by comparison. Think of your social life like a garden. Toxic people are weeds, taking up space, choking out the flowers, and thriving on neglect. But your supportive friends and family? They're the blooms, the ones that thrive when you nurture them. The secret to reclaiming your peace isn't battling the weeds. It's cultivating the flowers until they completely take over the garden. Let's put this into practice. Picture your best friend, the one who always knows how to make you laugh, even on your worst days. When was the last time you made time for them? Or consider that colleague who inspires you with their positivity and work ethic. Have you taken a moment to connect with them? Now compare that to the energy spent dwelling on toxic people. See the imbalance? Why it works. When you invest in uplifting relationships, you're actively redirecting your time and energy toward connections that matter. Toxic people lose their grip on you because they're no longer your focus. It's like shining a flashlight in the dark. The light doesn't fight the darkness. It simply replaces it. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus taught, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. By focusing on your circle of influence, you strengthen your resilience and protect your peace. Practical ways to strengthen your circle. Reconnect with your people. Call the friend you haven't spoken to in months. Plan a coffee date with someone who inspires you. These little gestures reinforce the connections that truly matter. Celebrate positivity. Make a habit of appreciating the people who bring joy to your life. Send a quick text, give a compliment, or simply let them know you value their presence. Expand your circle. Join a new group or community centered around your passions. Whether it's a book club, fitness class, or volunteer organization, surrounding yourself with like-minded people is a powerful way to fill your life with positivity. Actionable tip. For the next week, commit to one act that strengthens a positive relationship in your life. It could be reaching out to an old friend, spending extra time with family, or even writing a thank you note to someone who's made a difference. Notice how your energy shifts as you redirect your focus toward uplifting connections. Here's the thing, toxic people can't thrive in a world where your energy is occupied by love, laughter, and support. By focusing on your circle of influence, you're not just avoiding negativity, you're building a life so full of light that there's no room for darkness. Number 9. Empathy without attachment. In the ancient stories of the gods, there's a recurring theme. A divine figure gazes upon the mortal world, seeing the chaos and struggles of humankind, yet remains untouched by it. They observe with understanding, perhaps even with compassion, but they do not descend into the turmoil. This is the essence of empathy without attachment, a power we mortals can wield when faced with toxic people. To understand this, imagine standing on a mountain. Below, a storm rages, thunder crashes, winds howl, and rain floods the earth. The storm is wild, unpredictable, destructive. But you are above it. The storm does not reach you. You can watch it, understand it, even feel pity for the damage it causes, but it is not your storm. Toxic people are that storm. Their behavior, their insults, manipulation, and chaos isn't about you. It's a reflection of their own inner turbulence, their own unhealed wounds and unmet needs. When you realize this, their words lose their sting, their actions lose their power. You can look upon them with empathy, but you are no longer dragged into their storm. Take, for example, a coworker who constantly belittles your efforts. It's tempting to feel offended, even angry. But when you step back, you might notice their actions stem from insecurity. They lash out because they fear their own inadequacy. Recognizing this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it allows you to detach emotionally. You see them for what they are, a storm struggling within itself. Why empathy without attachment matters. Empathy is a gift, but without boundaries, it can pull you into others' chaos. Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining inner peace even as we extend compassion to others. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. By practicing empathy without attachment, you offer understanding while guarding your own peace. How to practice empathy without attachment. Observe, don't absorb. When someone lashes out, mentally step back. Remind yourself, this is about them, not me. Shift perspective. Consider what struggles might be driving their behavior. This doesn't justify their actions, but it helps you respond with calm rather than anger. Choose peace. Instead of engaging in their chaos, respond with calm phrases like, "I see where you're coming from," or "I hope things get better for you." Actionable tip. The next time someone's toxic behavior threatens to pull you in, visualize yourself standing on that mountain, watching their storm from a safe distance. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, "This is their storm, not mine." Let your response be a reflection of your peace, not their chaos. Here's the secret. When you master empathy without attachment, you reclaim your emotional sovereignty. Toxic people may rage like storms, but you remain the mountain, unshaken, immovable, and always at peace. Number 10. Use toxicity as Stoic practice. In the ancient tales of the Stoics, adversity wasn't something to fear. It was a forge, a crucible, a place where character was tested and strength was tempered. Toxic people, as frustrating as they are, can serve the same role in your life. They are not merely obstacles. They are the training grounds for your patience, resilience, and composure. Marcus Aurelius captured this beautifully. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Toxic people may try to throw storms in your path, but those very storms are the tools you use to sharpen your strength. Imagine yourself as a sailor navigating a turbulent sea. Calm waters may be pleasant, but it's the crashing waves that teach you how to steer, how to read the wind, how to master the ship. Toxic people are those waves, unpredictable, challenging, but ultimately, they make you stronger if you approach them with the right mindset. Consider a situation at work. A colleague constantly undermines your contributions in meetings. Instead of reacting with anger or defensiveness, see this as an opportunity to practice patience. Take a deep breath. Respond calmly and factually, showing that their attempts to provoke you are futile. Each time you maintain your composure, you strengthen the part of you that refuses to be rattled. Or think of a family member who thrives on drama, dragging you into their emotional whirlpools. When they start stirring conflict, use it as a moment to practice detachment. Smile, offer a neutral response, and let their drama roll off you like water off a stone. You're not just surviving the interaction, you're mastering it. Why this mindset matters? The Stoics believe that hardship is not an obstacle but a tool. Toxic interactions test your boundaries, challenge your emotional control, and reveal where your growth lies. Each time you face these challenges with grace, you're not just enduring, you're evolving. How to turn toxicity into Stoic practice? Reframe the challenge. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" shift your perspective to, "What can I learn from this?" Practice composure. Use toxic encounters to strengthen your ability to remain calm under pressure. Celebrate small wins. Each time you handle a toxic person with poise, acknowledge your progress. It's a victory for your growth. Actionable tip. The next time a toxic person tests your patience, silently thank them. Say to yourself, "This is my chance to practice mastery over myself." Imagine their negativity as weights in a gym, helping you build emotional strength with each encounter. Here's the truth. Toxic people don't define you. They refine you. They give you the opportunity to rise above, to grow stronger, to embody the Stoic ideal of calm in the face of chaos. The waves they create may be rough, but remember this. You are the sailor. You master the ship. And with every storm they throw your way, you're becoming unstoppable. Number 11. Tap into forgiveness and compassion. Forgiveness and compassion may sound like the last things you want to extend to toxic people. After all, why should you forgive someone who's caused you frustration, pain, or stress? But here's the twist. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. It's not about excusing their behavior or letting them off the hook. It's about freeing your mind from the weight of resentment, which only serves to chain you to their toxicity. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with every grudge, insult, and unfair treatment you've endured. Forgiveness is the act of setting that backpack down and walking away lighter, freer. Toxic people may never apologize or even realize the harm they've caused, but your peace isn't contingent on their acknowledgement. It's something you reclaim for yourself. Let's take an example. A close friend betrayed your trust, spreading something you told them in confidence. You're angry, hurt, and tempted to cut them off entirely. But instead of letting the betrayal fester, you choose forgiveness, not to let them back into your inner circle, but to release the anger that's consuming you. You set boundaries, keep your distance, but no longer allow their actions to live rent-free in your mind. Or think of the toxic coworker who constantly criticizes you, undermining your efforts at every turn. Their negativity could easily consume you, if you let it. But when you look closer, you might see their behavior stems from their own insecurities. Compassion doesn't mean tolerating their behavior, but it allows you to see them through a lens of understanding rather than hostility. You can address their actions calmly, without carrying anger in your heart. Why forgiveness and compassion matter. Toxic people often act from a place of pain, insecurity, or unmet needs. Compassion helps you recognize that their behavior isn't about you. It's a reflection of their struggles. Forgiveness allows you to reclaim your peace and move forward without the burden of anger or resentment. Everyday examples of forgiveness and compassion. The overbearing family member. They criticize your life choices at every gathering. Instead of snapping back, you choose to see their behavior as a projection of their own fears or regrets. You calmly redirect the conversation and let their words slide off without holding a grudge. The neglectful friend. They flake on plans repeatedly, leaving you feeling unimportant. Instead of cutting them off completely, you adjust your expectations. You forgive them, not to excuse their behavior, but to stop dwelling on it, and shift your energy toward friends who value your time. The argumentative stranger. Someone yells at you in traffic or lashes out online. Instead of firing back, you choose compassion, recognizing that their outburst likely stems from stress, frustration, or a bad day. You let it go, knowing it has nothing to do with you. Actionable tip. When you feel anger rising toward a toxic person, pause and ask yourself, what do I gain by holding on to this? Visualize releasing the anger like exhaling a deep breath. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciling. It means letting go for your own peace. Here's the truth. Toxic people don't deserve your forgiveness, but you do. Compassion and forgiveness aren't signs of weakness. They're acts of strength. They allow you to rise above, to unshackle yourself from resentment, and to step fully into the peace you deserve. Because when you forgive, you're not just letting go of their hold on you, you're reclaiming the best parts of yourself. Practical Stoic exercises. Dealing with toxic people isn't just about reacting in the moment. It's about building a mindset that keeps you grounded no matter what comes your way. Stoic exercises help you cultivate the emotional strength and clarity needed to navigate difficult interactions with grace. Think of these practices as your mental gym. The more you train, the stronger your inner calm becomes. Journaling. Reflect to understand and grow. The pen is mightier than the sword, especially when it comes to understanding your emotional triggers. Journaling allows you to take a step back from toxic interactions and analyze them with clarity. Instead of dwelling on frustration or anger, use your journal to dissect the encounter. What happened? How did you feel? What triggered your reaction? How could you respond differently next time? For instance, imagine a friend made a hurtful comment about your goals. Instead of replaying their words in your mind, write about the experience. Acknowledge how it made you feel, but also ask, was their comment a reflection of my reality or their own insecurities? This reflective process helps you separate emotion from logic and prepares you for similar situations in the future. Negative visualization. Prepare for the storm. One of Stoicism's most powerful tools is premeditatio malorum, or the practice of visualizing worst-case scenarios. This isn't about pessimism, it's about building resilience. By imagining potential challenges, you desensitize yourself to their impact and prepare calm, measured responses. For example, If you're heading into a meeting with a notoriously difficult colleague, take a moment beforehand to visualize their typical behavior. Picture them interrupting, criticizing, or dismissing your ideas. Then, imagine yourself responding with poise, calm body language, steady tone, and concise, fact-based answers. When the moment comes, you'll feel like you've already been there, and you'll be ready. Daily Stoic practice: anchor your mindset. In the chaos of toxic interactions, a simple mantra can anchor you to your peace. Repeat phrases that remind you of your power and perspective. Their behavior is theirs, my peace is mine. I cannot control their actions, but I can control my response. This moment will pass, but my calm will remain. Imagine a family member pushing your buttons during a heated discussion. Instead of reacting, silently repeat your mantra. It acts as a buffer between their words and your emotions, keeping you grounded. How to incorporate these practices? Set a daily reflection time. Spend 5 to 10 minutes journaling or visualizing at the start or end of your day. Reflect on any toxic encounters, or prepare for upcoming ones. Use reminders. Write your chosen mantra on a sticky note, or save it as your phone wallpaper. When tensions rise, it's a quick and powerful reminder to stay centered. Practice regularly. Treat these exercises like building a muscle. The more you practice, the more naturally they'll come when you need them most. Here's the beauty of these exercises. They transform toxic people from a source of stress into an opportunity for growth. By journaling, you gain insight. By visualizing, you build resilience. And by anchoring your mindset, you protect your peace. With these tools, you're not just surviving toxic interactions, you're mastering them, one thoughtful response at a time. Conclusion: reclaim your peace and power. Dealing with toxic people is never easy, but with the wisdom of Stoicism as your guide, you now have the tools to rise above their chaos. Remember, it's not about changing them, it's about mastering yourself. When you set boundaries, practice detachment, and turn their negativity into opportunities for growth, you reclaim your power and protect your peace. You've learned how to remain unshaken in the face of provocation, to wield silence and compassion as tools of strength, and to anchor yourself in daily practices that build resilience. Each toxic interaction is no longer an obstacle. It's a chance to sharpen your emotional mastery and step further into your calm, composed self. But here's the key. These strategies only work if you put them into practice. So, I challenge you. Take just one technique from this video and apply it to your life today. Whether it's setting a boundary, limiting contact, or journaling your reflections, start small and build your inner fortress, one step at a time. If this video resonated with you, show your support by hitting that like button. It's a simple action that tells YouTube to share this message with others who might need it. Subscribe to this channel for more insights on Stoicism and self-mastery, and leave a comment below. Which strategy are you going to try first? Because here's the truth. The world may be full of storms, but you are the mountain. Unshaken, immovable, ready to rise above. Now, go out there and reclaim your peace. You've earned it.